Hello, welcome to Mickey Techie. Learn as engineer, teach as champion. First of all, I would like to thank my family for their continuous support and encouragement of creating these kinds of technical videos in public domain. And I would like to thank my mentor, Professor R. Surendran from Government College of Technology, Coimbatore, for igniting me a spark of creating these kinds of technical videos in public domain. And I would like to thank Almighty my God for my good health and broad mind. And I would like to thank my friends, followers, my dear students and subscribers for their continuous support and encouragement. Today's topic of interest is hydraulic pump. As we know that a hydraulic pump is a device which converts mechanical energy into hydraulic energy. So the mechanical rotation rotation will help the rotating energy will produce the hydraulic energy like pressure and velocity of the fluid stream. So that is how it is working, the hydraulic pumps are working. So we know that the classification of pumps, majorly the pump is divided into two types. One is positive displacement and another one is dynamic. What is meant by positive displacement? It is very simple. The volume came in should came out. So that is the thing in positive displacement pump. If I am adding in my suction stroke, if I am giving 1 meter cube of liquid inside the pump, those 1 meter should be at outside in the next stroke or in the next process. So that is the thing of positive displacement pump. If we arrest the outlet, the pressure is being added on the fluid elements, and so we know that the pumps are generally used for pumping the liquids are generally incompressible in nature. If we close the outlet valve of the positive displacement pump, the pump will get damaged by means of the successfully compressed of the liquid particles. So liquid are incompressible. If we try to compress it, it executes a very huge amount of a pressure. So that pressure, the materials as well as the pump will get fail. So that is why we will not start the positive displacement pump with the valve closure, where the dynamic pumps, the outlet volume can be changed. Therefore the the quantity of came in may not be as same as came out. So we can adjust the discharge or outlet. So if we start this dynamic pump with full closure of the outlet, it can start, it won't create any damage to the pump or the pipe material. So these dynamic pumps are furtherly classified into two types. One is centrifugal and another one is axial, where the positive displacement pump is classified into two types. One is rotary and reciprocating. The rotary and furtherly classified into multiple rotor, single rotor, and reciprocating, it is diaphragm type or piston or plunger type. So first we are going to discuss about the dynamic pumps. After that we move to the positive displacement pump. In dynamic pump, a very special pump we always talking is none other than the centrifugal pump. We know that the centrifugal force means it away from the center distance. So center point, the force which is thrown outwards, helps to thrown outwards the particle or a body. So that force is called the centrifugal force. Here we are using this centrifugal force to displace the volume of the liquid came into the center point to the outermost point. So here, if you can see this diagram, the fluid particles came center, and we are having a series of veins here and there in all the directions. If the particle is came here in the continuous rotation, it will go up to the here and thrown outside. So that is how it is been working. The centrifugal pump is been working. So here the parts are, this is called as an impeller. This is called as an impeller. This is an eye end. So here, so this moving blades are called impeller. This hexagon nut is called eye end. So this is called casing. So in the casing, here you can see a very small gap, so very small area. Therefore here high velocity of this stream is there. If it is continuously move on increasing, here if you can see here, the velocity become less and pressure become more. Therefore high pressure with the velocity of the fluid stream is pumped outside the delivery valve. So this is the delivery pipe, and here you can see a suction pipe is there. Okay, and this is the simple sketch of the centrifugal pump, how it is working. So here, so this is the impeller, and this is the eye end. Here it is a fixed blades or guide blades. This is called the guide blades. So this is called impeller, this is called eye end. So this is called casing, and this is called delivery pipe or delivery valve. And further, the positive displacement pump, here it is a reciprocating pump. Here it is very simple, like a compressor, reciprocating compressor or an IC engine. Here we have a piston is here and the cylinder is here, and this is the connecting rod and the crankshaft is there. The crankshaft is connected to the connecting rod. So if the crankshaft is rotating or a pulley is being rotating, the connecting rod will transmit or it convert the rotation motion into reciprocating motion to the piston. Here the piston moves towards and away from the valve end. So this is the valve end. The suction and delivery are in same ends, same entities, the same line. The suction and the delivery is there. What happen, I will like to give a working. What happen if the piston is in top dead center? So say this is the top dead center and say this is the bottom dead center. What happen if the piston moves from the top dead center to bottom dead center? The vacuum is created here. In order to fill this vacuum, the suction valve is getting opened and the fuel will came into fuel or fluid or liquid is came into the piston cylinder arrangement, and after that the next stroke, that is bottom dead center to top dead center, the piston try to compress the liquid inside the piston cylinder. So it extract the pressure, and those pressure tend the delivery valve to open, and it will throw the liquid or the stream which are in the inside the cylinder arrangement to the delivery valve. Here the parts involved are crankshaft, connecting rod, crosshead, piston, and a discharge pipe, suction valve, and delivery valve are the parts which is used for making this function. Here I would like to give the comparison of centrifugal pump and reciprocating pump for the better understanding. Here in the centrifugal pump, the steady and even flow is possible, where in the reciprocating pump, intermittent and pulsating flow is there. That is why we are using a tank or a air pressure vessel or pressure vessel in order to make the stream as an uniform thing. So in the centrifugal pump, there is no need of any pressure vessels or an air vessels. So the next point in the centrifugal, for large displacement and small heads, the centrifugal pump can be used. So the only small head is being used. For reciprocating pump, for small discharge and high head, it is being used. Even a suction head of more than 30 meters can be possible by means of the reciprocating pump, where in the centrifugal pump it is not at all possible. And centrifugal pump can be used for viscous fluids. For an example, oil or muddy water can be pumped, whereas in the reciprocating pump, it can handle pure water or less viscous liquid, or otherwise the valve get frequently troubled. And in the centrifugal pump, it is having very low initial cost, and whereas the reciprocating pump, high initial cost is there. And centrifugal pump can run at high speed, can be coupled directly to the electric motor, whereas the reciprocating pump, it is being run at very slow speed. That is why belt and pulley arrangement is there, so the rpm is being reduced in order to run the crankshaft. And next point, in the centrifugal pump, low maintenance cost, periodically checkup is sufficient, whereas the reciprocating pump will have a high maintenance cost and frequent replacement of parts are there. In centrifugal pump, compact less flow is required, whereas the reciprocating pump, it needs 6 to 7 times of area than the centrifugal pump of the same capacity. So the centrifugal pump, low head pumps have high efficiency, whereas the reciprocating pump, the efficiency of low head pump as low as 40% due to the energy loss. In reciprocating pump, the slip is there, and this slip will make a difference between the theoretical and the actual discharge, where the centrifugal pump there is no slip is accounted in order to find the discharge. In the centrifugal pump, uniform torque is being delivered, whereas in the reciprocating pump, torque is not uniform. So, the running of the reciprocating pump will produce a huge noise, whereas the centrifugal pump will not produce that much huge noise compared to the reciprocating. The centrifugal pump, very simple in construction, less number of spare parts are needed, whereas the reciprocating pump, complicated construction, more number of spare parts are needed. So I hope that you have clear about these centrifugal and reciprocating pumps. So we know that the centrifugal pump is a dynamic pump, the reciprocating pump is a positive displacement pump, and it is having a piston cylinder arrangement. And next we are going to discuss about some of the positive displacement pump with having a single rotor as well as the multi rotor. So here you are seeing that external gear pump. So it is a multi rotor kind of a pump. We have a two gears, that is driver and a driven gear. So driver and a driven gear, so say this is the suction and this is the delivery. So gears are being rotated, so in this gear area the suction is being produced. The suction, in order to fill the suction, the fluid is came in and it transferred to the delivery valve, and here it is the high pressure area, here it is the low pressure area. So the high pressure area will make a very high pressure stream to the fluid, and it transferred the fluid from low pressure into high pressure end. And this type of gear pumps are being used for delivering a high viscous liquid like an oils or a fuels like petrol or diesel are being pumped by means of this gear pumps. So this is the external gear pump, since the both gears are mated at externally, and this is the internal gear pump. The functions are same, whereas the mating of gear is at internally. One ring gear is there and another pinion is there. So gears, both gears are mated at internally. So that is how it has been done. And here it is the safety valve. This is the safety valve. In the delivery end, if it is having a huge pressure is built up, since the delivery valve is being closed, the high pressure will transfer to the pressure relief valve and transmitted to the suction end. Therefore, fuel or fluid is transferred between this pump, suction delivery pump. Since we cannot stop these gear pumps, so gear pumps are generally used in the engine crankcase application in order to supply the lubricating oil to all the parts with some pressure. So the gear pump is directly coupled with the crankshaft of the engine, so we cannot stop the gear pump. If we want to stop the gear pump, we have to shut down the engine, so the stoppage is not at all possible, whereas the retardation of the pressure is being possible, and it is act like a safety valve. So next is a low pump. So the gear pump and low pumps are very similar in working operation. Instead of the gear tooth, we are using a finite lobe. In gear tooth, the vibration and noises are being produced, whereas in order to avoid those vibration noises, we are using lobes. So that is the very simple example, very simple difference between the gear and the low pump. The low pumps are used in some of the engines in order to pump the lubricating oil to the moving parts. Nowadays, most of the engines are using the low pumps since it generates very less noise and vibration. So next is a screw pump. Generally, screw pumps are used to transfer a very high fluid, texotrophic fluid like muds or a cement mixture to one point to another point. Here the screw is being used. Between the screw, the high viscous fluid, high viscous and high density fluid is being transferred from the suction to delivery. Here it is the suction end, this is the delivery end. So between the screws, the intermittent, the distance between the screws, the fluid is being transferred from suction end to delivery end. So that is how it is been working. So it is a silent pump, and most of the air compressors and silent compressors are using screw pumps only. So it is a very silent thing, and it will generate a huge pressure, so high viscous fluids can be easily transferred. And next is a vane pump. So instead of the gear, this is the single rotor type, the vane is being used. So here if you can see, there is an eccentric relation between the rotor and the stationary point. Here the vanes are being rotating. In the bottom of the vanes, it is the spring control. The spring is used to make the vane always contacted with the casing. So here it is the low air end. Once the area is getting increased, the suction is being produced, and again the area is being reduced. The suction by the fluid, the suction end is being pressured at the delivery end, so the pump is working continuously. Here the problem is the wear of the vanes are continual, and more the frequent change of the vanes are being there. That is the main issue of the vane pump. Next is the positive displacement pump, that is the piston pump. The series of pistons are arranged in the rotor. So if the rotor is displaced eccentrically, here you can see the suction is being happens, and here the delivery is being happens. One end suction and another end it is delivery. So that is the function of this piston pump. And with this, I'm going to stop today's lecture on the pump. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section. I'll post another video for clarifying your doubts. If you like the video, please do like, share and subscribe Meki Techie with Santosh for the continual update about mechanical engineering. So I hope you have enjoyed the video, and once again I thank you all for the patient listening. Thank you once again.